Kayak fishing, Marsh Creek State Park. First time I've ever been in a kayak. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one.
Delaware Valley Outdoors, your best source for fishing information on TV, radio, and the internet.
Well, we're here on Marsh Creek Lake. I'm with a good fishing buddy, Chris Watson. Chris invited me out here to do some kayak fishing, which I've never done before. So this is going to be really interesting. This is a great lake. We're on Marsh Creek. It's in what, Chester County?
Chester County.
Chester County. And the water's real low, as you can see. Chris says we're going to catch, there's a lot of fish in here though, right, Chris?
Correct.
What do we have? Bass?
It's a good bass environment. There are lots of panfish. There's actually tiger muskies that you can actually catch in here too.
So, and it's heavily fished though. We saw a lot of boats out here.
It is. It is a highly pressured lake. There's a lot of sailboaters. There's a lot of sailboarders, and there's a lot of folks just fishing in all different types of boats.
It's electric only though, right?
Yeah, electric motors only, which is where the kayaks come in. That can get around. As you can see, there's a lot of grass and things like that. There's a lot of spots that you can not necessarily get into with a bass boat that you could with a kayak, just like this area right here.
Yeah, these are pretty maneuverable. I mean, I'm obviously a novice at this thing, and I'm actually having pretty much fun with this. It's going to be the test, though, will be when I catch a fish and see if I can actually get it to the boat and the little casting thing I got to get used to. But I'm sure you're going to give me some tips.
Absolutely.
As to
it's a lot of fun. First off, we went over the safety portions of the kayak and things like that. We're already past that, so you're ready to do some fish. Hopefully, we'll do okay. And it looks like you're having fun already.
Oh yeah, this is going to be cool. All right, let's go get some fish.
Okay. What I have here is I have this kayak as well as yours falls under the category of recreational kayak, meaning it has the large cockpit, lots of room, real stable, and the ability to fish from it and carry a lot of gear with you. Other kinds of kayaks that you might see even today on this lake are kayaks that are ocean kayaks, or also called sit-on-top kayaks. The cockpit is open on that. It's sort of like a flat surface. That's more for warmer weather. It's also used for actual ocean purposes. You can actually ride surf in with that. But again, it is for warmer weather, the sit-on-top or ocean kayak. Colder weather, you do get wet in those, so that's a concern. So we covered the recreational kayaks, sit-on-top or ocean kayaks. There's also touring kayaks, which is probably, on average, probably about 5 or 6 feet longer than the kayak that you have there, but more narrow. Built for like longer trips or kayak camping and things of that nature. And that's not something I think you'd be interested in today with a narrow, less stable type of kayak. But and there's also other kayaks too that are built for play boating or rodeo kayaking or whitewater kayaking, which would be shorter than the one I'm in now, enclosed with a spray skirt. And that's something you wouldn't use for fishing.
Now this is, I think this boat right here, I mean your boat's small for one person. This boat's very comfortable for me. I can stretch out. I have 3 rods. I had to bring more than 1 rod. I just, the bass guy's got to do that. The only thing that I'm finding that I'm not used to is being so low to the water,
right,
and trying to see where the grass beds are and stuff like that. I think that once I would do it enough, I would really learn what I'm doing. Now I'm on a body of water that I haven't been on in a while,
yeah.
So it seems rather a little difficult, but it's quite comfortable.
Yeah,
now, do you need any permits or numbers, or what do you need for these
Yeah,
kayaks?
you would need a state park permit for where we are. Just a permit that is costs $10 that you would have to put on any boat, including a kayak, in order to come out here legally. And as far as like what else you need when you come out for fishing, you would need the same things that you would bring if you're going fishing for anywhere, but you would just have to be more mindful that you don't have the amount of space that you have in, say, a bass boat. For example, what I have with me today, everything I need lure-wise is in these two front pockets. I have a jug of water up front, and I have a dry bag in the back with an extra shirt, and that's about it. You just have to be a little bit planful of what you're bringing, what you're fishing for, and you'll be okay. As far as it eliminates automatically like the clunky tackle boxes, 4 and 5 rods, that kind of thing. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, so really you can go out here with basically 2 rods, put the stuff in your pockets, or you can wear a little vest if you wanted to. I mean, your shirt.
Right, and actually I have a vest right here that if I wanted to actually have more stuff, I lied. I actually have a little bit more stuff in this vest with my fishing license in there.
And that's all you need.
That's it.
And that's it.
And the boat, what you need is something to transport the boat, some type of rack or some type of something secure on top.
They're light. I mean, one person can just pick that right up and just throw it right on top of the truck or in an SUV or something.
The
like
particular boat I'm in right now weighs 35 pounds. You could literally carry it with 2 fingers and just put it on top of your car, tie it up, and you're away. You're off you go. And you can launch it in probably 6 inches of water, which is what we did when we came out here.
We'll be right back with more fishing after these messages.
For your free gun-safe educational book at 1-888-4-EAGLE-4. That's 1-888-4-EAGLE-4.
You can hear the beep a little louder.
The JATES program has helped me so much in the outdoors.
For a long time, I didn't even know what conservation even was. I want to do my part for wildlife. I love being a JATE. Whether you hunt or not, the JATES program has something for everyone. I know I'm doing my part for wildlife.
I really believe children hold the key to the future of wildlife.
And NWTF believes it too. Mommy, what's wrong?
You can refuse to be a victim, and we can help. Call now about the I Refuse to Be a Victim safety course from the women of the NRA. It's not about guns or joining the NRA. It's about planning your own personal safety strategy. Call now.
The Wild Turkey Woodlands program provides the materials. It provides a seed program, also technical assistance through their biologists. The land has been here for eons. It's only mine and my family's for a short period of time. We're the managers and the caretakers of it. That takes into account our way of life and our interest in our hunting heritage. And the Wild Turkey Woodlands program is the greatest conservation habitat development program of any conservation organization in this country.
Bob, what kind of rig were you using there when you caught that?
Chris, this is a rig that I used a number of years ago, and it was called a Jersey rig. Now it's become popular with the super sinkers and the Senkos, but it's hooked wacky style, and it's hooked right in the center, like I showed you.
Right.
Just hooked in the center, and the bait falls so slowly that way that, like, especially now, because we're probably at least 20 feet of water out here.
Right.
And it falls right through that water column so slow that the fish are just, you know, they're just they can't stand it. It just can't stand it. It just falls right in front of them. And like I said, it's fairly weedless. I mean, I got some weeds on here now. And it works really well, especially, like I mentioned, that a person who's never fished it before doesn't take a lot of skill. It's basically just throwing it out there, letting it fall, and just feeling the bait. You're not really doing anything. You're not moving it or anything like that, but it just falls so slow through that it's just a great bait. And especially, you had mentioned in the springtime, spinner bait's working, but now in the summertime, plastics are the thing.
Exactly.
And again, it's what it is, and it's just a green pumpkin seed here that I have on. You can get them. You got a black. I guess it's black on there. Any colors like any of those are the good colors, but it's a great little worm, especially for what we're fishing here. I don't think the fish are that aggressive today. So
during that explanation, look what I've already rigged up, just like you said. Is that right?
Yeah, just right in the middle, and just let it fall.
And that's wacky style.
Yeah, and it's good on a spinning reel. Yeah, that's what they call wacky style.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it would catch anything, but as it does.
I'm convinced. You showed us. You showed me. Okay. And you're just letting that drop.
Just letting it drop.
Just letting it drop. The one thing about a kayak that's a benefit is that you can come in quite stealth. The stealth is there. I mean, you can sneak up on an area and just position your boat parallel to the shore, facing the shore, diagonal to the shore, however you want it, whichever proves to be more effective for you. One of the disadvantages, if there are any, is the fact that you can't see directly into the water. You're down at the actual water level itself, and you know you have to actually know where you're fishing more so, because there might be weed beds or things like that. There's
no brakes on these things, and they have a tendency to move. Now we have a little bit of wind. How do you come up on a spot? Say we're on a point right here. How do you position your boat there? Do you know how far to stop ahead, or do you just kind of figure it eye-wise? Because all of a sudden I can't make one cast and I'm already into the weeds. How do you control that?
Basically, you have to judge like how the wind's blowing, how the current's blowing, position your boat further up current, and sort of drift into the spots where you want to go. Otherwise, like you said, you'll be floating on the other side of the lake.
Yeah, because coming through here, which is a great spot, by the time I made one cast, I was drifting.
Yeah.
And I'm used to using that trolling motor just to keep me, where I want to go. And but it's not. I guess you just got to get used to that. Like right now, we're okay. With the wind, is a little bit the hardest thing is to control it.
Right. There are some kayaks that come with like rigged out for fishing. Like it'll have rod holders already on there. And the one thing that would alleviate that situation with drifting around, but I'm not a big fan of it, is some of them come with a rigging for an anchor. Now, the reason I say I'm not a big fan of it, if you had an anchor on the bow or the stern of your ship and it got snagged, what are you going to do? You're going to have to get wet, you're going to have to swim and pull it out. So the alternative is you just have to be smart and drift with the current to get where you need to go.
I know, as far as being stealth, this is, you can't get any quieter than this.
Right.
You can really, and one of the things that you mentioned though, because we're low to the water, the fact that you can really get up on the fish, because in a bass boat or even a regular boat, you're up there, so the fish have an angle at looking at you. Here, you're really basically on top of the water, so you have a better chance of really getting to the fish without them really being spooked.
And there's particular areas that you can get to that flat out you can't get to with other types of boats.
Yeah.
For your free gun-safe educational book at 1-888-4-EAGLE-4. That's 1-888-4-EAGLE-4.
You can hear the beep a little louder.
The JATES program has helped me so much in the outdoors. For a long time, I didn't even know what conservation even was. I want to do my part for wildlife. I love being a JATE. Whether you hunt or not, the JATES program has something for everyone. I know I'm doing my part for wildlife.
I really believe children hold the key to the future of wildlife.
And NWTF believes it too.
Mommy, what's wrong?
You can refuse to be a victim, and we can help. Call now about the I Refuse to Be a Victim safety course from the women of the NRA. It's not about guns or joining the NRA. It's about planning your own personal safety strategy. Call now.
Wild Turkey Woodlands program provides materials. It provides a seed program, also technical assistance through their biologists. The land has been here for eons. It's only mine and my family's for a short period of time. We're the managers and the caretakers of it. That takes into account our way of life and our interest in our hunting heritage. And the Wild Turkey Woodlands program is the greatest conservation habitat development program of any conservation organization in this country.
The other day, Chris gave me some kayak safety tips. Let's watch.
Okay, we're going to go over some safety tips for our kayak. First things first, keep in mind that the kayak is an actual boat, and so you're going to follow all the same directives and regulations that you would in any watercraft. You want to abide by, first of all, you want to have a PFD, personal flotation device, something that is approved for safety. You're going to use that. Secondly, you have to be able to get in and out of the kayak.
Which I think is probably the hardest. The thing that I'm more nervous about in this thing is getting in and out.
Sure.
What's the proper way to really get in, Chris?
The proper way would be to, let's move this out of the way first. The proper way would be to, first of all, realize that the boat is already in the water, okay? Second thing you're going to do is you're going to stay low, and you don't want to do things like cross your feet or anything like that. You want to make your moves like real deliberate. You want to grab the boat a little bit, stay low, keep your knees bent, put one foot in the boat, okay? Get your balance, keep your balance, and then just sort of ease yourself back and in. Okay, and then you're ready to go. Say we're in 6 inches of water and you just paddle out. Second thing, how do you get out of the boat? Once you're done, okay, same concept. You want to stay low, you want to ease your rear end up first, take one step inside the boat, one step out of the boat, and then you wait on both feet like that, and then step out.
And one of the things that we're doing on land, but we're only doing this in shallow water. And one of the things that you'd recommend just wearing wading boots or some kind of shoe that can get wet, because you're going to basically step in the water.
Exactly. You're going to get wet. Your feet are going to get wet. And there's no reason for you to launch your boat in any deep water or any situation because it's not necessary.
And Chris, I know you keep emphasizing the low profile, stay low in the boat.
Right.
On the water, where we're going to be fishing, sometimes you're going to be able to set the hook. I'm going to be, hopefully setting the hook, that kind of stuff. What do you recommend as far as keeping your put this balance on the boat? What do you do there? It's not like a canoe because it's pretty flat, really.
Right. You don't want to make any sudden moves. You don't want to say, "Oh, I got one," and like you sort of lean over the boat for anything, or definitely don't want to stand up. You don't want to kneel like you would be able to in a canoe. Mm-hmm. You want to stay seated, and you want to be able to just maneuver your upper body as best you can. I mean, that's the best way to put it. You don't want to make any sudden moves to each side because the boat, this is a recreational kayak. It is very stable. It's 30 inches wide. So it's pretty difficult to tip it. I've never tipped it, but it does have a slight wobble to it. At least case scenario, you could lose some gear or you could drop something or something like that. So you just want to stay, seated.
No sudden moves. And when I catch that big fish, somebody will help me get it off the hook. Is that it?
No. No, that's when you really want to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you're excited and you've been fishing all day, you want to just be able to be as calm as you can and just bring it in the boat and catch and release just like you would normally do in a regular bass boat.
All right, cool. All right, I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready.
Okay.
Do they patrol this much?
Yeah. It's actually a really tightly patrolled park. I mean, the rangers are like on board as far as like who's here and what's going on, and you know, if there is some type of tournament, or you know, I think keep things regulated pretty well, because like I said, the lake does get really crowded on the weekends, and they do a really good job of keeping things, you know, under control, number one, and you know, allowing people to have fun at the same time, and being able to fish and being able to do things that the kids are doing and things like that. Boat rental area gets fairly busy. They rent all types of different boats there. Every type of kayak that you need, they have it. Canoes, different types of recreational boats as well. And
so you can rent a kayak.
You can rent rowboats. You can rent boats with a motor on it. Like I said, the kayaks, and different types of things with the pedals on it. And
oh, they have everything.
They have everything. They have everything.
So you can't come over here, just bring your rod, reel, and some stuff, and just rent a kayak and go out fishing.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. And they have, you say they have a website too for the Marsh Creek?
Yeah, there's oh.
That's not on my wacky worm, is it?
It actually is on your wacky worm. Did he come back? Come back.
A lot of times they will if you just let it drop back down.
My friend went away talking about the website. There is a website for Marsh Creek itself, and there's actually a website for the boat rental area.
So if they wanted more information about times and rental stuff, they could just go to the website and
yeah,
get all that?
Pricing, whatever you need, questions, contacts, things like that. Bob, I have a fish.
Well, that's a nice fish, Chris. Good job.
Right in the jaw. Not the biggest fish in the world, but he thinks he is.
Chris, we're here with the tackle box section of the show, and what we try to do is just kind of let the viewers get a basic idea what the baits we were using, how we were using them, and, you know, what you would recommend out here on the lake. I know the first bait you're going to talk about is the spinner bait that you like, and it's a little one. How come you chose a smaller one?
It seemed like in the hotter weather, it seemed like to downsize more so in the summertime than to spin the big 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce spinner bait. That's an 1/8 ounce spinner bait. And as far as like colors, let's stick with I usually stick with chartreuse or white. And if it's later at night, like the darker colors, maybe like a red or a red and black or just black.
One thing that I notice is they have one of my favorite color skirts on here. I think it's just a perfect combination with the chartreuse, the pearl color in there, and then that pepper color that kind of makes it look nice. One thing too, you like the willow leaf blades? Yeah, the willow leaf blades usually, if there is a lot of weeds or something like that, and you're trying to pull them through there, they tend to do a lot better than the big Colorado blades. But then at night with the red and black spinner baits, if you're going to use those, I use the single larger Colorado blade for the sort of thumping and tracking. Yeah. Well, I have to show you my bait today. It's a super sinker, the Durstein super sinker, and I showed you how to hook it. Mm-hmm. Jersey rig style, wacky style, and that was that I just had the hook right in the middle, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And we caught fish on that.
I'm sold on that.
Yeah. Again, color-wise, I do like the green, and then you have the blue and the purple stuff.
Right.
But I like this color. I think right now, this time of year, like you had mentioned it, I think this color is probably one of the best colors. It's a watermelon with a little flake in it.
Right.
You can get a red flake or whatever. But that one seemed to work well. I know I got you converted. Single hook right in the middle, throw it out there, and just let it sink.
I've seen it. I've read about it. But I never actually saw anybody catch anything with it until today. I'm sold.
And we caught it. Now you went over to the station over there, and the guy said to use a
Sluggo.
And now Now, have you used it much on the lake?
Actually not. It was actually my only second time using that bait in particular. And the first time I used it was successful, and lesser success, but it was successful nonetheless today. It's sort of like a plastic soft jerk bait, which is sort of one of a kind. It actually comes with, when you buy the Sluggo, it actually comes with a set of its own hooks, sold separately, but it's sort of a nice combination. It has nice action to it.
And again, and we were using this because we had a lot of weeds.
Right.
And we were fishing off of those weed drop-offs, and boy, I tell you what, if you want to fish a weed drop-off, pick any spot in this lake, and you can really do it.
Right.
And the other bait that we were using, and you had said you liked it, was, again, this is like a Senko.
Senko, right.
Again, you were just hooking it Texas rigged.
Right.
And your favorite color is like this June bug?
June bug, or the colors you had there, like the watermelon or the green or the...
Now, how are you fishing this? Is it just with a weight or without a weight?
Without a weight, just sort of letting it drop and just letting its action fill up as much of the water column, like you were saying earlier, as it can, and pretty successful with it generally. Yeah,
this is a good bait. It really is. Again, you can hook this wacky style. Just put that, and you can use this hook here. A lot of times I go to a smaller hook. You don't need a really big, but I like a gap hook, a wider gap. Just seems to hook. And when you do it, you saw how I hooked those fish today. They were hooked. It's really amazing when you think that an open hook like that, fishing a lot of weeds, we would get caught a lot, but we really didn't.
Right. No.
Pretty well. No. I know one other bait that I'm going to just have here, and I'm going to mention it because it's a bigger spinner bait. But you caught an awfully big muskie on that spinner bait, similar to this. It was a white one, right?
Yeah, it was actually exactly the same bait as that. It was right on this lake, caught a 21-pound tiger muskie by accident, but I caught it anyway. But that's been my sort of go-to bait, is a spinner bait here. Again, but with the real hot weather that we've been getting, I've definitely been going with the plastics. But during the spring and in the fall, it's definitely with the spinner bait that I use.
And again, the one thing I want to make sure to point out is that you do like the same kind of thing I do, is the fact you have a gold and a silver.
Yeah.
I like that combination, whether it's in the willow leaf, fat willow leaf, or in the Colorado type thing.
Right.
All right, Chris. Well, I think that's going to be doing for the tackle box. I think we have to get back out there now and use some of this up again.
Get some fish.
That's
All
it.
right, Bob.
All right, and that's the tackle box. Well, at least it's a fish. Chris, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
It was a great idea. Chris sent us the idea to the website. You have an idea where we want to fish? Send us an email, DelawareValleyOutdoors.com. Fishing reports, windcast. We needed that today. Again, Chris, I want to thank you an whole lot.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm Bob Murray. See you again.